if you are making a game asset, then you're probably going to be needing a normal map. And what a normal map is it's basically a free way of adding details into your model for your games or renders. And the way you do it is by having a low poly mesh and then baking the details from a high poly mesh like this. So you see, I have this random thing, so it's supposed to be like a plank of wood, but looks kind of terrible. So, but yeah, whatever. And then if I go unhard, you can see I have this little cube, well, rectangle. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to bake the details from this high poly one over here onto this low poly one. And the way we're going to do this is through the normal map. And firstly, I'm just going to add a slight bit more details just to make this work a bit better. So like this. So you just want to make it slightly better like that. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go over to this camera and change this to cycles. Okay. And we also have to set up a material. So let's just check. Okay, so we take the material off. So we don't want a material on this, on the high poly sculpt. We want a material on the low poly model. And I'll go to shading. And we're going to go add a normal map like this. So you just go Shift A, search normal map. And we go to drag this down and plug it into the normal. And go add a image texture. And then plug this in. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on new, and you can change it to be whatever res you want. So I'm just going to leave it 1024 and normal. Also say plank normal map. Okay, and you can press OK, and there. Now we have it set up. Now when you bake in your normal map, you have to have your thing selected. But first off, we do need a UV map for our object, which is basically just a 2D representation. Yeah, doesn't really go too much into detail. Now, what you have to remember is any sharp corner that has a seam on it will have a sharp corner on the normal map. So you just have to keep in mind when you add in your seams where you're going to put them, because it can affect the final result of your normal app. Okay, so I'm just going to do like this. That should be fun. Okay, and then let's get on to actually baking it. So I'm going to go back to layout, and I'm going to split this and split it. So I'm going to change this to a shader editor, like this. So we can make sure that we have our image selected. And then if you want to see your image, just go here and go to image editor and open the plank normal map. Okay. Now to bake your normal map, you're going to select this little camera. So we change the cycles. So make sure you're in cycles, because this doesn't work in Eevee, because you see we have this bake tab and you do not have the bake tab in Eevee. So change the cycles, go down to bake, and you don't want it to be combined. You want it to be normal with normal there. Okay. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to click select it to active. So basically what that is we're going to select the normal map, the high res sculpt, and then the low poly mesh, because it's selected to active. So you select the high poly one and then the low poly one like that. And then you can mess around with these things, but let's just do a bake first. And then we can see if we need to change them or not. So it might take a little bit of time to bake it, but let's see what it looks like. Okay, so you see, this doesn't look right because we don't want a bunch of yellow parts like this. What that means is that it's not, the extrusion isn't far enough. Because basically what extrusion is it going through the mesh like this. So you see, if you can see anything clipping through, then you need to have some extrusion. So let's just drag this up slightly and rebake it. Okay, so you can see that's nearly right. So we just need to drag it up slightly, because you see this yellow part is not correct. So let's drag it up slightly, make it like 31 there. Okay, still doesn't work. A couple more millimeters. Okay, there. So you can see we baked it and it's all gone. Okay, so now it should be looking correct. Okay, so we can hide this high poly version and go Z material preview. Okay, And now you can see we have some slight, what's it, bugs. That's mainly just because of our mesh, like how different it is. But yeah, so sometimes, no, not really. Yeah, so it's kind of just the limitations of normal maps. So sometimes it helps us to add some more resolution. And yeah, so it usually be better if you do it properly, but yeah. And then you can see if we add like some color, so we like a wood, you can see it just has the details, and I just have a really bad mesh, so that's why it kind of looks weird. But yeah, so you can see you can kind of get your normal apps to be baked quickly, and yeah, cheers.